If you could have a guide, someone to help you tell your story, give you the tools to reach your ideal customer, lead you to living your dreams and turning a profit, would you follow it? Everyone, every passion has a place in this world, and each has the potential to be unstoppable. It's time to buckle up and tune in to your personal strategist, life purpose coach and marketing maven, Lindy Chaffin Start.
Woohoo! Happy Wednesday, everybody, from the studio here in Lilburn, Georgia. This is your host, Lindy Chaffin Start, owner and creative director here at Unstoppable Start Studios. Just to give you a quick story, heads up what we're doing today. We're talking about Facebook advertising and how to spend your hard-earned money wisely. Now, you know me. If you've been listening to me for any amount of time, this is not going to be what button to push, how to do an ad setup, any of that. This is going to be my usual creative, have you thought about this space? Because that's just what I'm best at. That is my magic. So you are not going to get a tutorial on how to create a Facebook ad. I don't do it that way. You know that. So what we're going to do is talk about 5 simple ways you can maximize your Facebook advertising dollar, okay? It's a super exciting show for anybody and everybody involved in Facebook. And if this word came up yesterday, I was talking to my cobbler, the shoe repair guy. People look at me strangely when I say cobbler these days because it sounds like such an antiquated term. However, that is what he is. I was talking to him, Buddy, yesterday. He is awesome, has lots of fantastic and wonderful opinions. And we were talking about Facebook, and he had said that his wife did some advertising on Facebook for his business and had some success at it. And he said, otherwise, anything I have done, I have not had success. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. That's an interesting space to come from for me. But he said, it's such an incestuous relationship between, the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Googles and who owns who and what and where. And I'm like, yeah, believe me, I know. So I know we're talking about Facebook advertising today, but just know that when you're creating in Facebook, when it comes to advertising, and you choose automatic placements, Facebook will send your ad, show your ad, distribute your ad, whatever term you want to use that makes you feel happy and comfortable. They will show your ad to people on Facebook, Facebook Mobile, Instagram, in ad space, in newsfeed, in wherever. So it's the same bid scenario. It's not exactly the same. It's a similar bid scenario as in AdWords. So they are going to look at competitors, how much money they're spending, where they're going, yada, 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 make the bid comparison, and then put you where you fit best. Okay? So just know that. And part of our conversation today is going to be on monitoring that kind of stuff. So let's talk about the fun. So know that Facebook has 2.4 billion monthly users. Advertisers love Facebook. If you've been on Facebook lately, you know this. There's an algorithm there that detects your presence or your preferences just like Google and everybody else. Be it a cookie, be it an IP target, be it I don't know what it is. Or it's just user data. But they are monitoring what you're doing, and you are being fed advertisements for the things that you show interest in. Okay? So that's why you get stuff in your feed. And it's also why you have the opportunity in your feed, if you see an ad that you're just tired of seeing, you can click on those little dots up there and say, I'm tired of seeing it. Make it go away. Cool. I can get really discouraged just from a professional perspective, because a lot of the stuff that I see out in social media or in search engines that they're monitoring has to do with marketing and advertising. So I get fed a lot about marketing and advertising, and it can be, one, overwhelming, but two, discouraging, because I see all of these people who are doing things that I want to do. I want to do that too. Why can't I do that? I want to do that. That's not my magic. But sometimes it's hard to let go of the fact that that's not my magic. So I want my magic to be like the magical pipe spreader. If you're piping long enough, you need a pipe spreader. Remember that? Has anybody ever told you that joke? I worked in plumbing and electrical wholesale for a while, and I actually had a customer come in when I worked on the sales counter, and it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. He walked in, this little old plumber, been in business for 40-something years, and he said, "Can I get one of them pipe stretchers?" I just looked at him cockeyed and said, "No, sir, we don't sell those here." He thought he was going to get one over on me. He did not. So, the pipe stretcher story. I wish that my magic was to stretch the day like the pipe stretcher. Like, give me 2 more hours. I'm just going to stretch it out right here in the middle. I'm going to take these 2 hours between 1 and 3, but when I start again, it's going to be 1, and I'm going to stretch my day. That's what I want. My magic. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to squeeze those hours out of my sleep schedule, but that's okay. So, getting back to our original subject of Facebook. The fun question about Facebook, how do you maximize your money while still gaining results? Right? There are ways to do this, and it's more of the same stuff that we've talked about in the past. And in all honesty, I would love to tell you that there's this magic bullet for economical Facebook advertising, but the truth of the matter is that you have to learn to spend your advertising dollar wisely. And doing that is kind of this combination of clever content and clear targeting and a bit of luck and some close monitoring. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to use an example. I was actually out on my walk this morning and thought about it because I'm in the process of rebuilding my website. I'm like, well, what is convincing? What's going to be convincing to the people who would seek me out for strategy and consulting? What does that look like to them? And immediately my brain went to white papers. Well, here's the thing. I can write up a paper. I can show you how this client, just because we went from a Yahoo legacy website to a Shopify as a platform with all 1,000 products placed and SEO'd, and we grew his online ordering 40% month over month, year over year. Like it was magic. That was all that needed to happen. And that's the type of business owner that I'm used to working with, right? Or I could write up a paper on a local therapy practice who their referral business, when they once again went from maybe a WordPress site into an optimized Wix site, their referral traffic quadrupled. Sure, I can show you that. What else can I show you? I can show you another therapy practice that just by updating from, once again, a Squarespace site that was never updated to not a Squarespace site, a WordPress site that was never updated to a Squarespace site that was optimized, and some email marketing, they're able to fill up their quarterly weekends without issue. They call me every quarter and say, please put sold out up. We can't take another phone call. I can write all of that up, but the truth of the matter is the experience is different for every business. It is not a one-size-fits-all game, and that's what I pride myself on, is being able to understand where you're coming from, where your business is coming from, what you've tried to do in the past. I take all of that and stir it up into a magic soup, and I give you the strategy that you need. Whether you want to execute it or you want me to execute it does not matter. But I give you the strategy that you need to be able to move forward and grow. That's always my goal here. And Facebook is a big piece of that. So let's go back and talk about these fun 5 simple ways you can maximize your Facebook advertising buck. First things first, and we've talked about it in the past, is audience targeting. You have to set your audience parameters in Facebook. Now, I know it's super fun to think, oh my gosh, 2.4 billion monthly users. I could, just 3% of that. Sure. Keep thinking that way. It's not going to get you very far. It's tempting to throw your net into that vast user ocean. But you need to take the time to do the research on your target audience and their online habits. And by doing that, it'll allow you to narrow your parameters and get your advertising in front of the right people. Okay? Now, we've talked about this before. Creating your audience it's your special magic. And I've thought about this before. Like, if you have a business already, if you are in existence, just think about how long you've been in existence. Do you know exactly who your best customer is? Do you know how that person receives information from you? Do you know the messages they respond to? Do you know their birthday? Do you know their age, gender, where they live on the planet if you're an online business? Do you know your customer that well? If you do, bully for you, man. That's awesome. Good job. If you don't, now's the time to do the work. You have to know who you're trying to reach. So if you have an existing business or if you have a product, do the work. Look up online, see what your competitors are doing. Look at how their messages are placed, what they look like. Are they doing things to gain real estate, like AdWords campaigns? It's kind of funny. You don't have to continue to do AdWords campaigns. You can actually build to a point where you have a certain amount of real estate on Google, and then you can stop for a while because your organic reach has gone farther just due to the AdWords use. I know it's kind of a sidebar, but letting you know. Okay, so you want to make sure that your ads get in front of the right people. So it's important to know who your audience is. And as I've said before, find pictures of people that look like your audience, print them out, write a profile for each one. If you need a worksheet, give me a shout. I am happy to provide you one. But the thing about it is, it's not about huge numbers when it comes to targeting your audience in Facebook. It's about results. So if you want to spend wisely, carefully set your audience parameters from the get-go. Now I'm going to say that, and I'm going to share little additional tips. So you're going to have to come back for those after our break. But just so you know, when you're setting up your audience parameters, and this is going to depend on where you are geographically, like if you're trying to hone in on a specific area for an event, this might be more difficult. But if you're talking products, services, webinars, that sort of thing, your sweet spot on Facebook for an audience is around 500,000 people. That is your, I got it, number. Now, as you're looking at audience interest, you're going to see that number is going to go up and down. Like, you can get too specific, so you might want to be careful how you do that. You might want to leave it just a little open. But 500,000 for a target audience is ideal. Okay? So that is setting audience parameters. Step 1 in how you can maximize your Facebook advertising dollar. When we come back, we're going to talk about these other 4 simple ways that you can do that, and other little tips and tricks and hints I've got for you. So you are listening to Unstoppable on Inspired Choices Network. I am your host, Lindy Chaffin Start, and we'll be back in just a moment.
We all wish we had a few extra hours and a few less things to do in our hurried days. By tuning into Unstoppable, hosted by life purpose coach and marketing maven Lindy Chaffin Start, you'll hear success stories of how other entrepreneurs have uncovered their passions and learned to live a balanced, purposeful life. You'll receive tips and tools to market and grow your business, wrangle the chaos, and design the life you've dreamt of. Learn how to be unstoppable by tuning in to InspiredChoicesNetwork.com every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. This is Unstoppable with life purpose coach and marketing maven Lindy Chaffin Start. If you have a question about marketing your small business or finding balance as an entrepreneur, or you're just trying to get up the courage to do your own thing, let Lindy know. You can call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now, back to Unstoppable.
And welcome back. Thanks so much for being with us today. You are listening to Unstoppable on Inspired Choices Network, and I am your host, Lindy Chaffin Start. Before we launch back into these 5 simple ways you can maximize your Facebook advertising buck, just a real quick, shameless, you need to walk through, talk through any marketing advertising challenges, or if you're on the fence about doing anything with your business, please feel free to reach out to me here at the studio. Like I said, the website is under construction, but you can still reach me at unstoppablestart.com, or you're welcome to call me at 404-245-7474. I'm happy to help. Now, back to Facebook. And I have to share a personal story with you guys. If you've been listening to the show for any amount of time, you know that I try not to be terribly pitchy. One of the things that bugs me, and it's another one of the things that we're going to talk about today, is people constantly being in the position to sell you something. Now, I like to think that I bring a lot of valuable content to the table and offer my help during the show. I was actually watching, my daughter's 11, you guys know this, and I was watching her favorite YouTuber with her the other day. I believe his name is Daz, something along that line anyway, and he's an older English gentleman. He's probably somewhere in the general vicinity of my age, in his 40s. And he has a daughter about her age, and he was watching this little girl. I believe her name is Ruby Rube, and if y'all haven't seen her, check her out. She's so cute. But he was just cracking me up because his opinion and my opinion are exactly the same. She was literally, she does these 3 a.m. like witching hour. Oh my gosh. This crazy creature is going to answer the phone when I call at 3 a.m. and it's going to be the most horrifying thing you've ever seen. But first things first, she's going to go into a pitch about check out her merch and check out her latest blah, 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 and check out. He started laughing because she was 9 minutes into her video, and she was still pitching. I was laughing. It was the funniest thing I'd ever heard in my life. I was like, oh my God, thank God there's somebody on YouTube that shares my opinion. What? It was hilarious. Sorry. No offense to Ruby Rube. She is adorable, but girl, back off of the sales pitch. Come on. I don't know who's advising you, but they're not doing a good job at it. So, all that said, we want to talk about next. We're going to get to that variety piece, but next we're going to talk about using insights. Facebook has this opportunity for you to see via their Insights tab. I just used air quotes since you can't see me, for reaching your target audience. Well, not reaching your target audience, but for learning about your target audience. So Insights will show you things like age, gender, like which one is giving you the most results. Okay, so age and gender. They will show you location, but I don't believe they will drill down beyond state if you're working in the U.S. They will show device type and things like that. So it's not the depth and breadth of things like Google Analytics, which can make your eyes cross. But they do give you some insight into who is responding to your visuals, your message, your call to action. So it's super helpful to get in there and take advantage of this, okay? It gives you the opportunity to analyze your advertisements, as I said, to make sure you're reaching your true target audience. And you can track the success rate of your call to action. Cool. Learning to use the insights is an invaluable skill in spending money wisely on Facebook. Cool. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. When you are starting with an ad, so if you guys have heard me talk about AdWords, you know that you start with sort of this broad net, and you monitor, and you monitor, and you monitor. And as you're monitoring, you change based on what data you receive. Okay. It's kind of the same with Facebook. So I recommend starting with the broader age and gender settings, like both men and women, 18 to 65 plus, right? Start there. Let your ad go for a week. Look and see what demographic is giving you better play. Is it more men? Is it more women? Is it a certain age group? We did this with a property out in Houston we were doing Facebook advertising for, and we found that their two largest demographic segments were men between the ages of 24 and 35, and women we thought were going to be around that same pace, but it turned out that women who were 45 to 65 were the highest for this particular area. So we adjusted the ads and the messaging accordingly to kind of speak to that audience. So again, it's going to vary from business to business, location to location, space to space, product to product. It's all different. That's why I say, sure, you can show me a white paper, but it's not going to sell me on your service because my business is different than anybody's. So, all that said, start with a wider base of demographic info and then kind of drill it down from there, okay? Cool. This next fabulous, simple way is all about telling your story. Marketing, it's such a funny thing. Marketing and advertising have changed so much over the last 30 years. And so have the generations who are part of the market. Okay? Nowadays, more than ever, your audience wants to be engaged as a partner. They want to be included in the conversation, not talked at, not sold to. I'm going to go back to my Ruby Rube example. I don't need 9 minutes of pitch before you make a phone call to some critter that doesn't exist, but whatever. Sorry, you guys really have to check this out. She's really cute. She's funny. And check out Daz, Jazz, whatever his name is. Check him out too. You'll find him. I promise you'll find him. He's hilarious. Anyway, telling your story is a huge part of this. Okay. So you have to create ads. And I'm using ads as just a generic term for anything and everything that you would do on Facebook for marketing. Okay. By creating ads with a narrative, you're able to capture audience interest and are more likely to see results with your call to action. Don't believe it? Give it a shot. Next time you get ready to create an ad on Facebook, make 2 versions. Do what we call an A/B test. Okay? Do traditional marketing tactics in one, and then use a narrative marketing position in the other. And check out the insights for the post and let me know which one did better. I think you'll quickly see that the narrative is definitely going to bring more engagement. Now, there's tips to this and tricks to this and things you have to remember, like being able to create a narrative in 125 characters or less. That's fun. So, the trick, the magic, the better part of valor, if you will, in Facebook for telling your story and doing it with very few characters is relating, one, this is just my experience, relating to the problems, if you're available to solve a problem, or if you've positioned your product or service to solve a problem, relating to the problems that your audience has. By way of example, allergy and immunology group out in Texas, they're having allergens in Texas, as producer Rhonda knows, are insane, much like they are in Georgia. You know both. Yeah. She says, "Wait, yeah. Yeah. No lie. I can't go to Texas and survive. I have to be on twice the drugs I am in Georgia. It's crazy." So they have these free allergy testing events coming up in September. And the quickest way to engage with their target audience is to ask a question. Sneezing? Itchy, watery eyes? Allergies might be wreaking havoc on your immune system. Check out our free allergy test days and see if you're allergic to, say, ragweed. You get where I'm going? You can do that in 125 characters. And you can follow it up with either an image, which is a really pretty lifestyle image, but beware, because Facebook does not like copy on their images. So you can't have this really big sell it image. You have to have an image and you have to have a descriptive. So use a carousel option for your ads or create a quick video. Video is a great way to tell a story and tell a story quickly. So that's one of the tactics that we used for this particular Facebook ad was in 125 characters. Sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, your allergies might be driving you crazy. Here's how you can find out what the deal is. And then we had the video that talked about this September, and the click-through went directly to their landing page where all of the event information was located. Super simple to do. Make it look good. Tell your story fast. And there you go. All right. We have a couple of more things to talk about, but first we're going to take a break so I can catch my breath. You guys are listening to Unstoppable on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
We all wish we had a few extra hours and a few less things to do in our hurried days. By tuning into Unstoppable, hosted by life purpose coach and marketing maven Lindy Chaffin Start, you'll hear success stories of how other entrepreneurs have uncovered their passions and learned to live a balanced, purposeful life. You'll receive tips and tools to market and grow your business, wrangle the chaos, and design the life you've dreamt of. Learn how to be unstoppable by tuning in to InspiredChoicesNetwork.com every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Time. This is Unstoppable with life purpose coach and marketing maven Lindy Chaffin Start. If you have a question about marketing your small business or finding balance as an entrepreneur, or you're just trying to get up the courage to do your own thing, let Lindy know. You can call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now, back to Unstoppable.
And welcome back. Thanks for being here with me in the studio this afternoon. You are listening to Unstoppable on Inspired Choices Network, and I hope once again that you're getting a lot out of the show. I know it's a lot of information, and my goal is always to piece it together so it kind of makes sense and gets you excited. But if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to reach out to me at unstoppablestart.com or via telephone 404-245-7474. That is country code UNO. All right. We've talked about a couple of these simple ways. So first things first, you want to make sure you set your audience parameters. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to go back to audience parameters for just a second. It can be kind of a challenge in Facebook because they have pre-existing audience interest. It's pretty comprehensive, so just keep this in the back of your mind. And I'm going to use an example that I've used recently. If you are creating, say a lot, I apologize. That's just my pause too. I'm catching my breath and gearing up. So when you are looking at audience interest, and they're going to show up as interest, as employers, as I'm trying to think what other subcategories they use. Either way, look at words that not only speak directly to what you're selling. Look at terms that are used frequently that tie into what you are selling. Look at not only maybe an audience interest, but think about if the product or service would lend itself to someone looking at an employer looking at what you provide. Pull up the ad, pull up those audience interests, and find ones that you think would be perfect. Then find a second category of things you think might fit. And then, you can't save it. That's the one thing I don't like about Facebook is you can't necessarily save it. Create an audience and hopefully it'll stick, but sometimes it just doesn't. I'm not going to lie to you. Set this thing up based on what you're thinking, and then walk away from it. Sleep on it. Come back to it the next day. Ask if this is really who you're trying to reach. And if it is, you'll know that. And if there's something you need to add, you'll know that. And if there's something you need to take away, you'll know that. Go with your gut. Go with what God, universe, guides, angels, whoever you speak to is telling you in your head. And follow that. Follow that path. Trust it. Okay? Anyway, now, getting it's not easy because they give you these tiny little boxes. You know, if they just put them somewhere so you could find them a little bit more easy, it'd be great. All right, so we talked about audience parameters. We talked about using insights. We talked about telling your story and how marketing is changed and engaging people. They want to be part of the story and not talked at. Okay. Next thing is monitor and adjust. So that's the fun thing about social media marketing is that you can gain instant feedback and make adjustments based on real-time data. Okay, if you want to spend your money wisely, make sure you're actively monitoring your ads and adjusting your call to action, target audience parameters, or entire framework when you need to. Now, all that said, depending on how you are using Facebook, you have the option to use insights, and you can use insights from advertising to events, okay? You can see who your audience is. Making those changes, and I'm going to give you another example, is critical to creating excitement around a product. It could be a built-in, we're going to refresh creative on X date. So if you decide you want to do a campaign for the month of September and say you're doing it for a workshop or an event that's in October, maybe you have an early bird price that you're going to advertise the first 15 days of the month, and the regular price you're going to advertise with limited seats left for the second half of the month. See where I'm going? So those are the built-ins. There's another built-in that I use in IP targeting, and it's a phenomenon that we experience regularly in IP targeting. If people see your ad too many times, it sort of disappears into the background. It's kind of like when you're doing the house cleaning and you're listening to music, or you're working and you're listening to music and it just disappears. You don't hear it anymore. The lawnmowers disappear. The garbage truck beeping disappears. You know, you just kind of, all that information, all of that data goes away. It gets out of your head. It's just background. So we update our creatives for IP targeting. We're running for the same allergy and immunology group for this event. We're doing IP targeting in a couple of different zip codes for a couple of different locations. And we've got creatives running for the first 4 days, and mid-5th day, I will update those creatives to say, last chance, now's the time. If you want in on this event, it's tomorrow and the next day. You know what I mean? And then they stop. The event's only 2 days. We want you to come in. So it's kind of the same thing with Facebook, but you'll see if you say learn more and you're not getting a lot of hits, think about what other possibilities exist. How can you change that? How can you change that? What can you give somebody to convert them? Should you potentially throw in an incentive? 25% off. If you visit today, use code TODAY25 at checkout. Do you just need to change your creative? When you do offer something, how do you change your call to action? Well, again, the buttons in Facebook are very limited. One of these days they're going to come up with a customizable button, but right now they've got like shop now, learn more, register, that kind of thing, get tickets. But you can actually put your call to action in your copy in that 125 characters. So if you do decide to offer a discount or offer some sort of incentive, you can say, save now, save today, today only, shop with us today and save. There are lots of different ways you can set up your call to action and say your call to action in the copy part, and then have the shop now button or the book now button or whatever the button looks like to your business. So there's that piece. Monitor and adjust. Now, if those insights have taken you, using the apartment or property example that I did earlier, and you see that your one ad that you were showing showed you insight-wise that your female audience was 45 to 65 and your male audience was 24 to 35, and you've got kind of a generic ad running, what are you going to do? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Stop that ad. Just stop it. Create a new ad. Visually focus on, when I say visually, I mean in your lifestyle photos and whatever photos you're using, create a feeling of warmth and emotion for the women, and use women in those images that look like they are anywhere from 45 to 65. Do not choose an audience target that's 45 to 65 and show them pictures of 20-year-olds working out, because it's not going to appeal to them. Okay? Gear your copy towards, gear your special towards, gear your amenities towards, whatever it is, whatever your audience is, speak the speak of the audience target. For men who are between the ages of 24 and 35, you might show pictures of younger people in a group jumping into a pool, having a party, having a great time. Because girls in bikinis always appeal to men between the ages of 24 and 35. Unless, of course, they're gay, and if that's your demographic, then you have to change your advertising target completely. I'm just saying. So those are all things you have to know about your audience. Who are you trying to appeal to? If I were going to run an ad in Atlanta during Pride weekend, I would not run something in one of our local papers that was a man and a woman if I were speaking to Pride, unless they were doing separate things with their partners. You have to think through that stuff. Don't just pick it because it looks pretty. Okay? Don't do that. Don't pick it because it looks pretty. Don't say it because it sounds good. Say it because it's authentic. Say it because it speaks the speak of your audience, and you want your audience to hear you. Okay? Okay. Ooh. Now let's take a nice deep breath. We've gotten through monitoring and adjusting. And again, I hope you guys are getting a lot of value out of this talk. Come be part of the conversation. Next up, we're going to talk variety. But before then, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to catch my breath once again. You are listening to Unstoppable on Inspired Choices Network, and we will be right back.
We all wish we had a few extra hours and a few less things to do in our hurried days. By tuning into Unstoppable, hosted by life purpose coach and marketing maven Lindy Chaffin Start, you'll hear success stories of how other entrepreneurs have uncovered their passions and learned to live a balanced, purposeful life. You'll receive tips and tools to market and grow your business, wrangle the chaos, and design the life you've dreamt of. Learn how to be unstoppable by tuning in to InspiredChoicesNetwork.com every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Time. This is Unstoppable with life purpose coach and marketing maven, Lindy Chaffin Start. If you have a question about marketing your small business or finding balance as an entrepreneur, or you're just trying to get up the courage to do your own thing, let Lindy know. You can call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspire Choices Network. Now, back to Unstoppable.
Nope, you guys caught me taking a sip of water. Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening. I was just sitting here chatting with producer Rhonda. She's in the booth today. Thank you, Rhonda, for being with me and making this so fun and easy. She was saying it's so much information, and it is. There's a lot to this marketing thing, and that's the whole reason that I started this business, because, you know, I've been in advertising since I was in my 20s, and for a minute. And I've watched it. I've watched it grow. I've watched it change. I remember when the internet became a thing, and when You've Got Mail was like made your heart just sing. You know, you would hear that whole the dial-up modem and the You've Got Mail from the AOL account. Oh my gosh, do you remember those days? And now you get ping, ping, ping. Your phone's constantly ping, 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 ping. You've got an SMS from this person and an email from this person. Wait, Facebook just notified. Wait. Snapchat, Pinterest. Everybody wants you at the same time. But today we're talking about Facebook. So I'm going to get back to it. All right, we've talked about these 5 simple ways we've made it through: setting audience parameters, using the insights, telling your story, which has changed dramatically, monitoring and adjusting, and lastly but not leastly, using variety. Variety. This is going to go back to what I was talking about with the magical YouTuber and the little girl he was talking about, Ruby Rube. Do me a huge favor and don't get stuck in the mindset that every advertisement needs to lead to a sale. Sales are only part of your business. And if you come at this, if you come at life, if you engage with life in the space that you are here to provide a product or a service that will better someone's life, okay? If you're not doing that, if you're not bettering someone's life, then why are you doing what you're doing? I want to know. Like, engage me on any platform. Pick up the phone, call me, reach out on the way. I want to know if you are not trying to better someone's life in some way, shape, or form. Why are you doing what you're doing? Isn't that why we all get out of bed in the morning? I want to make your life better. That's why I'm sitting here right now, waving my hands around like a crazy person, talking into a microphone. So don't get stuck in the mindset that every advertisement needs to lead to a sale. The truth of the matter is now, and this is how it's always been, but now it's like sensationalist media. Now it's all over the place. So if there are 3 tornadoes today, you're going to hear about it on every dang news channel in existence, and it's become this drama, crazy. Oh my gosh, it's happened for a reason, folks. It's a tornado, you know, Mother Nature and all that. I'm sorry you had to see it on 16 different news channels, and there's the thing. You have to have a variety of goals in your business that include increased engagement, building a strong customer base, expanding knowledge of your brand and values, and yes, getting sales. Give your audience a variety of content in a variety of formats while keeping your ads fresh, interesting, and engaging for your audience. And that's why I said earlier, when I say ads, I mean anything you do to engage, build a strong customer base, expand knowledge of your brand and values, and get sales. I'm not talking about today's special. I'm talking about all of it, the bigger picture. Okay, so you might do a post that points to a blog post, and you might boost that. This is what's going to make it, and I'm going to qualify that as an ad because I just spent $500 to push that out to 700 people today in my audience target. Okay? You might create an explainer video that shows how your product works. Now, it's really great to have. It's great to have on your website. Put it up on Facebook. Put it up on YouTube. Push it out to all your social media channels. And share it as an explainer video. Now, is this necessarily going to get you a sale? Maybe, maybe not. If you get a 3% return on a video, cool. If you don't spend any money to produce a video, awesome. Do it yourself. If you hire somebody to do it, great. It really doesn't matter. The point is you're showing people how easy it is to use your product or take advantage of your service. And you can do that in any number of ways. You want people to be involved in your business. I'm going to tell you, I'm the worst. I'm the worst because I'm always so focused on taking care of my clients that I don't get to do all of these things that I would love to do for my business. I'd love to. So practice what I preach and not what I do. That sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Create a behind-the-scenes video. Show what it looks like if your team was sitting around a table creating a new product and you're brainstorming. What does that look like? Is it a bunch of Post-it notes stuck up on a wall? Is it a big piece of brown craft paper that wraps all the way around the room and people are like pointing and writing with markers and getting all excited? What does that look like? What does that look like for you? And it doesn't have to be video. It can be imagery. It can just be, hey, this is what's going on today. This is what's happening here in the studio today. It can be a blog post. It can be a video. It can be a live. It can be all sorts of things. Let the sales come. Let this be part of the lead. It's the funnel. It's all it is a funnel. There's the marketing funnel and there's the sales funnel, and they're two different things. Marketing and sales are two separate departments, and if they're not, you need to step back and take a look at how your business is structured, because they are two separate things. Don't put your marketing people on the hook for your sales production. Put them on the hook for the leads they generate. Put your sales staff on the hook for the number of sales. Okay. All right. So now you've not only gotten marketing consulting for the day, but you've gotten business consulting for the day. So there you go. All right. So we've had a lot of fun talking about maximizing your Facebook advertising dollar and the 5 things that you can do. There again, set your audience parameters, use those insights, tell your story, engage your audience, monitor and adjust as needed, and lastly but not leastly, using variety and not expecting every single thing you do to lead to a sale. It's important to remember that. Marketing and sales are two totally different departments. All right. You guys, it has been so fun. Again, as always, until next week, be unstoppable.
Thank you for being Inspired Choices Network's most valuable asset and for tuning in to Unstoppable. Host Lindy Chaffin Start will return next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Time, with more valuable tips to support you and your small business. Until then, be unstoppable.